Heads up. If you have kids around,
Parental advisory is in effect.
This is the Bonus Bone Podcast with Lamont and Tonelli.
It's like water torture.
Baby Huey.
Shasta.
Here we are, gang. It's Bonus Bone Podcast time. Chasta, Tonelli,
What is happening?
Baby Huey, and Tony's in the studio.
Hi, everybody.
If
Known
you're
as
watching on
Creative
YouTube,
Tony, I guess.
you might notice that there's some similarities between Tonelli and Tony.
That's why I'm hiding behind a microphone.
I've always said that Paul is very lucky to look my age.
That is true.
Right? That's what I say.
That is
right?
true.
And then when
So-
people mistake me for Paul, I'm like, wait a second.
It is amazing. So Tony is Tonelli's nephew.
Nephew, yes.
And it's not just looks, it's mannerisms. It's
Yes.
so freaky. And by
It
the way, you are one of my favorite humans on the earth,
thank
and you know that.
Yes, back at
But
you.
it has a lot
Back
to
at
do
you.
with the fact that you are in the Tonelli family, because a lot of you are like that, at least the ones I know. I don't know everyone in the Tonelli family.
There's a strong
You couldn't possibly
4,000.
know every one of us.
But you're all very warm, kind, loving, great, funny, party people.
Thank you.
Trying
Jess.
not
My
to
kind
be.
of people.
I know.
What'd you say?
I'm trying not to be.
Well, we were just talking. We were just talking in my studio, which is literally 2 doors down from here, about when you go to a Tonelli family gathering, it can get rather spirited.
Oh, for sure.
Is a polite way to put it.
Is that that's the way what we're calling that? Yeah.
Spirited, loud,
Yes.
obnoxious.
I love it. Obnoxious? No,
Out
never
of hand,
obnoxious.
chaotic.
All the above.
Yeah.
All the above.
And going drinking with these two is especially fun. What's the place we go to before the supper
Oh, the
in
saloon?
North Beach?
Oh, the saloon.
Yeah, one of the oldest bars in San Francisco.
That place is so rad.
4:00 on Sundays if you're looking for some good live music.
San
right?
Francisco Blues Power.
Oh, they're so good.
Oh my God. And the bass, is it the bass player or the guitarist?
the
that's like-
guitarist, the old guy.
oh my God.
Yeah, he's really
He's
good.
super old and super good.
Really good.
Yes.
And he like walks around.
Yes, he walks around. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. He like takes his guitar and is like walking through the crowd, and he'll go sit in the corner and like the opposite side of the bar.
It is literally going back in time, and I'm so glad the doors are still open there because
Yeah.
it's like one of those places you're just waiting for it to close, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just so old, but it's
Yeah.
like, oh, keep it
It
going.
can't. It
No,
can't.
it can't.
Yeah.
It can't. It reminds me of like it could fit in like New Orleans.
Totally.
And
Oh,
they have music, I think, almost every day.
oh, do they really?
Yeah, not just Sundays at 4, but they'll kick it in late afternoon during the week too. I don't
Is
know.
that like their house band? That band we're referencing?
Well, they're just there every Sunday at 4.
Okay, got
So
it.
I guess you could call it the house band, but
Sure.
the acts rotate, day to day through the weeks and stuff. But they are Sunday 4:00 at San Francisco Blues Power.
They're
They're good.
Really, oh, they're really
and on a
good.
nice fall day when it's warm out and
Yep.
it's just got a great vibe.
If you ever need to know where to go to have a good time, these two are good guys to ask because
Well,
they know how to have a good time.
In North Beach, you can go at 4:00 and see this band, and then you can stumble out to any of the restaurants in North Beach in walking distance, and you'll be happy as a camper.
That's true.
You know?
That is true.
Your soul will be fed, and your stomach will be fed.
See? And your
We were
soul.
supposed to do it yesterday.
We were supposed to.
Why
but-
didn't
I mean,
you?
we weren't supposed to do. We talked about the
talked about
possibility of going to watch the Niner game somewhere in North Beach, and then when the Niner game was over, popping in at the saloon for SF Blues Power at 4. But
Yeah.
we never got there.
Life happens.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
things got pretty
kids.
busy.
So speaking of your family, what happens at Christmas time? Like, what's the tradition? Because
I'll let you
really,
take that.
I wasn't joking. I mean, there's so many of you. Like, what do
Right.
you guys do?
I mean, go ahead, Paul.
Well,
It's so big that we have listeners who
Thanksgiving.
want to be there.
I know.
I think Lamont has been to one of them, I believe.
Early on.
Yeah, I believe he has. Yeah.
before he got married.
Yes.
Yeah, when in the early days of doing the show.
Yep.
So Thanksgiving is kind of an in-law holiday.
Yeah.
Get out to the in-laws, or we have a small family get together on Thanksgiving. But Christmas is
That's the big-
almost
throwdown.
everybody.
It's the throwdown.
The throwdown.
I have a sister that lives in Burlingame, and she hosts it every year because she loves to do it. And they have a place that can accommodate everybody. And about 50 of us?
I would say
it
this-
can be as low as 45 and as many as 60.
Yeah, last year was one of the biggies. They had the jumpy house out front for the kids.
You gotta, yeah.
And my son and his cousins set up like pylons and cones and set up a fake football field in front. And then you have the back deck, which has a fire pit. So there's that. And then I stumbled into the kitchen, and there's an island in the kitchen. And I walked in, and my son and his knucklehead cousins, these 4 other boys, were all twerking on the island.
Yeah, it's
Awesome. Yeah, and I was like, wow. I mean, like I said, they're spirited
You're a
events.
little bit proud, though.
I was.
No,
but I was like, I didn't even know you knew what twerking was. And then I look up and he's standing on the. And first of all, I'm like, get down off the counter. But he wouldn't get down. And so, anyways, that's just an example of what you might find.
That's amazing.
Yeah, my sister does a trivia contest at the end of dinner between the guys and the gals to see who does the dishes.
That's cute. I love that.
Oh, we also have to give a shout out to Paul's mom, Elsie. Every year she gathered like a couple weeks before Christmas to make ravioli by hand.
Of course.
And then you freeze them for a couple weeks and then you eat the ravioli that night.
So who's doing that now that she's departed?
My mom, Paul's oldest sister.
Oof.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot.
She took it on.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Well, and it's a lot of like, you better get the recipe right too.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to ask
all the details.
Yes.
I mean...
Yeah.
The amount of filling, how you pinch the pasta around the edges.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my mom's specialty, was the detail.
Did she
was the
teach you how to do
ravioli
it?
Nazi. What's that?
The ravioli Nazi. Did she teach you how to do it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, my grandmother taught me, my dad's mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But
the filling. It's all about the filling.
All about the filling.
And it was,
Can't be too much, though.
But it was like ground veal, ground pork, and ground beef all together.
I would be
think.
screwed. Is there any vegetarian
Well,
option?
you can do spinach, like spinach and cheese.
So, Chasta, I'm with
You're
you on the
vegetarian,
vegetarian
too.
world too. So
Yeah.
in the last few years, I was like, Nani, I was like, Paul's mom, we need to do a veggie option too.
Yeah.
So then I would make a little spinach, garlic, mushroom filling.
Well, that's a good one
yummy.
right there.
That's a
Throw a
good
little
one.
garlic in there.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I was going to ask.
So you make it and then give it to her and say you could put in the dough?
I've tried to fool with so many carnivores about throwing veggie things and they don't even notice,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, see? You could do it too.
I did that with Jay many times, and now his favorite tacos are the veggie tacos that I make.
See?
So,
See, you're
How about
winning,
tofu
Chasta.
ravioli?
That would
No?
be interesting.
I don't know if I'm on board for that.
Well, I mean, yeah,
either.
tofu's, you got to have the consistency.
you got
and
that's
stuff.
the thing.
Yeah.
It either
Yeah.
is good or it sucks.
Bad tofu could ruin you for
I
life.
like your spinach variety there. Throw some spinach, mushroom, and garlic.
Mushroom makes a good filler.
Just ground up mushroom and with the spinach, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, my sisters and I do that with my dad with mushrooms too. He swears he hates mushrooms, but then we feed him things and don't tell him mushrooms are in it, and he doesn't say a word.
That's how Jay is with squash. He has no
Yeah,
idea.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
He hates it, though, apparently.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah,
Ignorance is bliss.
exactly.
My sister Gina last night said the mom would be not happy with the way the raviolis came out this year. I didn't see them.
Oh,
no.
They didn't use
Why?
a food processor.
Oh no.
So spinach was too stringy.
Oh,
I am not the ravioli expert.
drama.
I'm regurgitating what she said.
see, this is where. So this year it sounds like the cocktail hour needs to be extended this year. So maybe people don't notice this stringy spinach.
Yeah.
Right.
Just kind of.
And I think they're going to fall apart.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Mama's
Well,
going to be
actually-
looking down from heaven. She's going to be pissed.
Exactly, and it's probably going to be like if we ever missed her, we missed her more than ever. Then,
Yeah, that's true. What else is on the menu for such an Italian family?
The ravioli, and then obviously there's usually a pretty decent sized salad, and then usually roast beef and turkey, both, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
either mashed potatoes or baked potatoes, and then carrots and some kind of veggie.
There's usually a casserole too that
I was going to
shows up.
say,
You
that's
know?
what I felt like was missing.
Like a broccoli casserole or a spinach casserole and especially I'm also again like, hey, give us some more options.
right? Yeah.
And the broccoli casserole is usually loaded with cheese and all kinds of goodness.
Yeah.
The creamy goodness, like French onion dip might be thrown in there too, or something.
yeah.
And
I feel like being a vegetarian in this family would be as hard as me being a vegetarian from Oklahoma.
yes,
Not necessarily. You think?
Your family's probably a little bit more
Tony,
forgiving.
is it tough?
I always am prepared to kind of fend for myself.
Yeah, bread and salad if I have to. Yeah.
And I'll eat a lot of the salad, But then like the meat trail will pass me and they'll say, and then I forgot.
Yeah.
And then there'll be some trash talking too, but, and it's like, fine, get it out of your system. That's good. All right. Okay.
How long have you been a veggie?
This, I think, 8 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
great.
My buddy made a movie that's on Netflix, Cowspiracy.
Oh.
And he invited me to the premiere. I did not know what I was good at getting into. And I went to the movie.
That's a good one
premiere.
to watch.
It's a good one to
haven't
watch.
I didn't know it was your buddy.
Yeah. His name is
Cowspiracy.
Shout out Kip Anderson. And then he made a movie called Seaspiracy, which is all about what goes on in our ocean.
Yeah.
But I went in there just to support him to go to the movie premiere, and then I left there saying, "Ooh, okay, I think I'm gonna give this a try," and I haven't had it since.
Good for you.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Seaspiracy?
Seaspiracy is that's really.
How about codspiracy?
There's a lot of cod in our sea.
Tonelli is Mr. Spiracy.
Yes.
Like he can
Well,
find a spiracy in basically anything. Which I appreciate, by the way.
And that will come up around the table at Christmas dinner too.
Oh, does it? They allow his foil hat to come out?
Well, it kind of, it's like later in the evening when it's a smaller crowd, or when the party's more dispersed all over the house or in the front yard or backyard. Then a few stay at the table.
But you're talking about, foil hats. Isn't this the party where you guys wear a hat at the dinner table?
Oh, that's correct. The hat that comes out of the...
oh, wait, I don't know this one.
The popper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I'll let you take this.
What? I'm like, I don't know. I'm learning so much.
There's these little poppers that are decorated in like red or green foil or gold foil.
Okay.
And the popper's about the size of like a cardboard...
Like a
toilet paper roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's two strands that come out of either side or both sides, and then you pull the two strands and it pops open the center of the cone.
Yeah.
And inside the cone is a little toy and
like
also
a cracker, like a
Cracker Jack toy or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Like a plastic ring or something.
Yeah.
And then also a crown. A paper crown that you put on at the table.
And everybody's popper has that in it, or is that like the magic popper?
No, everybody's popper has a crown and a toy.
Where do you get these poppers? I've never even...
I'll find out for you.
That's a good question.
That's a fun
I've seen
tradition.
Mr. Bean's Christmas episode.
Yes.
That's the
does
one.
he have
Yeah,
poppers?
those, right?
Yes, Mr. Bean. Yes, Mr. Bean's
I
a
remember
popper.
He's
seeing
killing me
that.
once again.
Why? What? Compared to a British guy?
He loves Mr. Bean.
It's a great show.
He asked me randomly in the kitchen like that.
I know, I
last
heard
week.
him. You're like, what?
Tony, do you like Mr. Bean? I was like, what? I was in here to get a cup of tea.
Because I
didn't
just
know-
watched it the
Yeah.
night before.
I'm like, well, actually, yeah, I do like Mr. Bean.
That's one of my traditions in my household.
That's
Oh,
not
really?
one that you normally hear, to be honest.
English Will here, he loves Mr.
Of course
Bean.
English
bet.
Will
All the British
loves
people
Mr. Bean.
love Mr. Bean. Why do you think Mr. Bean is Mr. Bean?
At the holiday party, that's all we talked about for like an hour. And other
Bean?
British TV shows he says I need to check out.
Oh, that's funny.
Did you ever watch The Young Ones?
No, we were talking about that with English Will.
Okay.
I've seen segments because I know Motorhead has a legendary performance of Ace of Spades on that show.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
It's a great show. I grew up on that show. It was on MTV. And it was four guys that lived together.
Yes.
It was like a punk rocker, a hippie, a pimp, and one other guy.
Wait, is this scripted or reality?
No, scripted.
Scripted, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking. It was like probably late '80s.
Oh, okay.
I think mid 80s because
Was it mid-80s?
that Motorhead lineup, it was not the original lineup anymore. It was like after the two core members left. So
Okay,
It was like a 4-man group.
But it's a really entertaining show.
yeah, absolutely.
What's
So-
it called again?
The Young Ones.
I have to look it up. The
Yeah,
Young
you
Ones.
would actually really enjoy it.
Yeah?
And
Okay.
Jay would dig it too.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I'll put it on our
But
list.
yeah, no, English Will tell me the whole how TV's done in England and just how most shows only last 2 seasons and they move on to the next thing. So that's a whole nother.
My
What's like
first
the, go ahead.
My first experience with British TV was just boobs when I turned it
Okay.
on because I went over there to study abroad. And the very first time I turned it on, it was like bare breast. I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Ricky Gervais.
Gervais.
Yeah.
Gervais, his The Office show, it was only
Oh, yeah.
two seasons.
That's what I was going to say.
You can
Have you
wa-
seen that?
No, but he says you can watch the whole series in a day, less than a day.
Oh, no, it's great.
You need
So-
subtitles though, because it's so quick. And the way they
Yeah.
speak, you really need the subtitles, but it's really funny. And like the American Office with what's his name is the
Steve
lead guy,
Carell.
Steve
Carell. Was obviously inspired and based on David Brent, the character David Brent, which there's an MC Hammer episode where David Brent thinks that he's a better dancer than MC Hammer at the Office holiday party.
Yeah.
It's physical comedy, like top-notch physical comedy that I highly recommend. Even if you just want to search that scene on YouTube or
Yeah.
something, you're going to laugh your ass off.
Okay, I'm going to have to rewatch that. I haven't watched it in a long time, but The Office is my favorite comedy show of all time.
And it's that documentary style filming, you know, which is really
I
took off.
still say we desperately need a radio version of that.
Oh.
Yes.
Shot in the office style. I think we could all agree. The
Updated-
characters in this building,
Oh, it's ridiculous.
right?
So you can easily do an updated WKRP
Yeah,
in
but
today's
shot
world,
in
but
that
shot in the
way.
office style.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Paul and I and Lamont too, we have a line that we say to each other about things that happen on a daily basis in this building. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, That's for the sitcom.
See?
That's for the sitcom because so many things happen here and only here.
You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it.
Should take notes every day.
Oh, we have material. We have material for days.
You can almost do like just for social media if we had the time.
A social media series.
Yeah,
of
just
some
different
sort.
clips.
Yeah.
Would you guys be into this? I told Paul this. I was like, I would love to. We have the cabin in Tahoe, right? Small little cabin. I
Yeah.
said we had a group of us take a week off of work.
Oh my God.
And we go to the cabin and we don't do anything in the cabin except eat, drink, and write.
And right. I would so be into
And
that.
we write like a whole season.
I'm up for the
of
eating and drinking part.
Negronis for this guy over
Yeah,
here.
of course. Yeah.
But I think if you got the just the pen flowing and the ideas would just come, pouring
With as many
out.
decades as we've all worked in radio,
Yeah.
the amount of stories would be endless.
Oh my God! Think of all that. Yeah. All
But
the
just
I mean, it would end all of our careers probably.
true.
But just
True.
the daily battles radio faces to stay relevant.
That people have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Did
No
you guys
idea.
ever see the show News Radio?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah, I
That's
do
a
remember that.
fantastic show.
Joe Rogan was in that show actually before he did his own thing.
Yeah.
I kept it polite.
Yeah, you
I
did.
kept it polite.
Yeah.
I don't want to. We don't have to go there. But somebody else was in that show too. There's another big actor. Oh, Phil Hartman. Before
Andy
he
Dick.
passed away. And Andy Dick
Dick.
was in that show too. That's
Yeah,
right.
Andy Dick. That was one of his first big things, I think, wasn't it?
But that was a great
Only
show.
thing.
Oh,
Good call.
Nice.
okay, that's probably fair.
Totally.
I gotta make notes on all of these shows.
Can I ask you a question, Chasta?
Yeah,
or
please.
actually, the panel here.
Yeah.
What was like? We were talking about this off mic, but I am curious about it though. Your favorite Christmas present?
Oh, okay.
As like growing up.
Yeah, so we were going to discuss it. It's funny because growing up in Oklahoma, things are just a smidge different on what you get children. For instance, my grandpa got me my first gun when I was 5 years old.
Wow, that's incredible.
That is wow.
Yeah, I got a cap gun when I was
And
5.
and it's funny because I like at the time it was no big deal. It was like I started with a BB gun and then I went up from there very, very quickly. I was Annie Oakley. He called me Annie Oakley because I was like a great shot.
Nice.
But what's funny, and I in his backyard all the time I would shoot constantly. I mean, it was like target practice on cans or whatever. Never really anything living. It would always make me sad with
Yeah,
my
right.
friends. Like one time we went frog hunting and it broke my heart and never again. But I would go out with my friends. We'd go duck hunting a lot, and it would. I would never shoot, but I would be in the crowd, and it would make me sad. But 5 years old, and now that I have a 7-year-old, I'm like, the hell was
Could you
he
ima-
thinking? Can you imagine your children with a gun in their hand?
Oh my God, I'd fear for my own life. Yeah.
My grandpa was
really would.
unfazed.
Yeah,
He was
that's
like, yeah,
crazy.
she's 5. It's about time. And there it was. So, yeah, different world.
Annie Oakley? What is Annie Oakley?
Annie Oakley?
Yeah.
Oh, baby, that's a reference. That makes me feel
I just
very
thought it was a
old.
Michael Jackson lyric. Annie, are you okay?
Oh my
Annie,
God,
are you
that's
okay?
incredible. That's good.
No, it's
That's
definitely not. It is a reference to Annie Oakley. The play was...
Are you okay?
oh my God.
Are you okay, Annie?
But she was a real character, though,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. No,
she
hold
performed at rodeos and things like that, or fairs.
But she was a real person, but there was a
But
play based on her.
what's the movie with where he gets the Christmas Story? Doesn't he get a?
You'll
doesn't
shoot
he-
your eye out.
You'll shoot
You'll
your eye
shoot your eye out. Yeah, totally.
And didn't you said you got a gun too, Paul?
Yeah, but it wasn't a gun. Are you kidding?
What kind of gun was it?
No, that was,
It was like a-
it was like a bazooka. It was the Mattel
Oh, it was a
Agent
toy.
Zero.
Yeah.
And Mattel in the 60s did a bunch of like vamping off of the James Bond popularity. Mm-hmm. They did a whole series of toys that were almost like Transformers.
I'm looking up
nice.
to see if they still make the
And they were there
Mattel
was-
Bazooka,
The
1966.
Agent Zero M Blaster
Oh, wait.
was a bazooka.
Holy crap! Is this the thing?
And then they had,
That's not
That's it.
That's not it.
that's
Are
it.
you serious?
It was plastic and you pumped it up with air.
Oh my God, it really does look like a bazooka.
It was. And all it did was shoot air. That was it. But it was so freaking loud that it got. So this is from Consumer Reports.
Like the pop of the
the
compressed
Mattel
air?
Agent Zero M Sonic Blaster fires compressed air with a deafening blast. Our measurements top out at 157 decibels.
Ooh.
We rate this toy not acceptable. It got taken off the market like after 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
You can't find. You could find. I saw
it would
one.
bust your eardrum.
Yes, that's what it said. You could
Definitely.
and not because you put it on your shoulder.
Right.
So it had a crank on top of it, and you cranked it like this, and then you filled it with air, and then you locked the crank, and you just went poof, and it had targets you set up, and it would blow everything over.
Yeah.
There's a great commercial that's still online from the 60s that's got Kurt Russell as a kid doing the Agent Zero M blaster right off the 405 freeway, by the way. You can see the freeway in the background.
Really?
Yeah. It was right after they built the 405.
Can you imagine some kid with that on their shoulder off the 405 now, today?
So,
oh my God.
Yeah, the thing, and I got up like at 6 in the morning, and this thing's like, oh my God, it's the Agent Zero M Sonic Blaster. I don't know if I said that, but so everybody's still asleep, and I'm shooting at things in the house and knocking them over.
How old were you? Do you remember how old?
8 or 9, 8 maybe.
Good.
And it was like, boom, and my dad comes out of the room in his bathrobe like,
what the hell
are you doing?
It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, this is great. It was a great toy. But the problem with the toy was the more air you put in there, the louder it got.
Sure.
Yeah.
The more compressed air.
Yeah.
And the crank on top of the bazooka that you lifted up and just went like this, and then you would lock it down. It was plastic. So when you got the air in there, it got harder to crank, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And to squeeze the air in there. And eventually every kid was like, I got to get more air in there. And then the crank would break.
Yeah.
That was the big flaw in the toy. I think that's what happened to mine.
I was going to say your crank must have broken, I'm sure.
My crank was broken.
Can it knock someone over? Was it powerful?
No, not like that. Just,
Okay.
Yeah, because their eardrum
eardrums
busted, so they would fall over, I'm
But
sure.
yeah, the perforated eardrums were the big.
Oh,
it
God.
Oh my God.
was
you
the best toy in the world.
No.
8-year-old Paul go around the house with a bazooka on his shoulder?
That I can't imagine, actually.
It seems like
It was the greatest toy.
I had
in
a
the
real
world.
gun and he had a bazooka.
I was gonna say for Tony, I think you and I, our generation, it was like a super soaker.
Yeah.
Or Nerf guns.
Sure. The Nerf guns are still popular. Like
Oh
my
my
son
God,
has Nerf guns.
dude! At
Yeah.
Target, there's so many. Like, I want to bring one here
There's
to
a whole
work.
aisle of them.
Oh,
at
I mean, it
Target.
is insane. And they come at you. Now they have like a,
Yeah,
the whole rotator,
yeah,
whatever
exactly.
it's called.
Are they pretty powerful? Like,
Yeah, I was
if
going to
they-
say, you can get they can tag you, and they have these the tips are harder.
Yeah.
So,
The
excuse me.
darts on them.
That's what she said.
Exactly. But I'm like, to my son, I'm like, dude, you better be careful with that thing, man. 'Cause,
You'll
like,
shoot your eye out.
if you go too high or too low,
Yeah.
you're going to get into some serious trouble.
Oh, you can. We had a war at Christmas with those.
with the Nerf
In
guns,
Oklahoma. And all the guys were on opposite sides of the sunroom and they went at it. And it was like people getting hit in the nard. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nards, by the way. Bring back nards.
Underused word.
Nobody said
Right?
nards.
I know. We were
me in
talking
the
about that
nards.
this morning, actually, underused words. Because somebody said horking. We had horking in a bit. And I was like, that is
that was
such an
good, too.
underused
Yes.
great word.
Nards. Bring back nards.
There was an Agent Zero M blaster that sold on eBay for $3,000.
I was going to say, if you didn't get rid of the thing, you probably could have had some good
But
value.
it was all in the original packaging and like new or something like
No
that.
broken
Wow, between
crank.
that and your Playboy collection, you really could have raked some in.
I wonder if there's any like old antique toy stores around here that might have one.
Actually, Jay has a friend who he's in the UK, but he does like a whole old school toy thing, and he makes good money.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Like people
Especially-
buy those kind of things. I mean, on eBay, I'm sure
Oh,
there's
here's
a lot
one.
of
Here's
stuff.
one that is $150, $149.97, but it doesn't work.
God, I'm half tempted
Just
to
for
buy it
looks.
Put
just
it
for
on the shelf.
nostalgia. I know.
Right, yeah, just put it on the shelf.
So
You could make a lamp out of it.
the red crank that you would use to go back and forth and then lock it down.
And that's
Sweet.
plastic? That's a plastic piece. Okay.
That's what would break.
Oh, wow.
So
Fond memory.
Right? What about you?
Little Paulito.
Baby Huey? Christmas?
Man.
Anything that stuck out?
I remember when I got my first set for Thundercats. Remember that show?
Thundercats.
The cartoon.
Wow, that's a throwback.
In the 80s, yeah. It was just, my parents were always cool, get me like all the cool toys for whatever show I was into at the time. So I remember the whole set for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Thundercats another year, Power Rangers another year, Ghostbusters another year. Probably the Ghostbusters set. Like they got me the action figures, like the play set, and also the backpack.
Nice.
With the Nerf
yeah.
that represented like the photon shooting out of the gun.
Can I guess that were you a Ghostbuster at one Halloween or another?
Oh, yeah. I wore that around for that afterwards. It was perfect. Yeah, get a Christmas and keep it around for
the original is still
year.
the best Ghostbuster movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
That was such a huge
Even
huge
part
thing.
2 was cool. I dig part 2.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Remember my brother got those sets. He got Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
That was
He-Man.
right?
I got He-Man too.
He-Man.
Yeah.
I loved Jim. She was my girl. Do you guys remember Jim?
No.
Oh, yeah. Jim was cool. She was a rock star.
And I remember I got Garbage Pail Kids
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
in my
Another
stocking. And I was like, this is the best because my sisters had Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, yes, give me all the Garbage Pail Kids that you can give me so I can just talk trash to my sisters.
Yep.
But I'll never forget, there's 2 Christmases this happened back consecutive
That movie was
Christmases.
trippy, by the way.
I never saw it.
I never saw
Oh,
it.
yeah.
either.
See
Really?
the movie. Oh, it's such
Really?
a cult classic.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
You definitely check it out.
Under the influence of maybe something?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because they're little demons like rah, coming at you. I don't know. I don't know what the rating is, but yeah, little garbage pail kids coming at you.
The ratings is probably garbage. Yeah.
The one with the pimples, that was freaky as a kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't remember the names, but I
oozing
got
pimples.
whoever that would, you want to talk about a fun job?
Yeah.
To be able to be the ones that created the Garbage Pail Kids,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
once they started selling, then all bets are off. You could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
But I was 12 in Christmas when I was 10, and my sister, I just had a turntable in my bedroom, and I was listening to records, and
Yep.
my sister was very excited to give my older sister Bridget was very excited to give me this Christmas present, and so she got me a Christmas present, and she got me Twisted Sister's "Stay Hungry" on vinyl.
That's awesome.
And the cover, remember that, is Dee Snider with a bone in his mouth.
Yeah,
and he's got
yeah.
The hair, the makeup, and the hair. And my mom saw this, and she started crying on the couch because she's like, "What?
What happened to my
Is
child?
this? Who is this person? And why does he have a bone in his mouth? And what is it?" And then she got mad at my sister. And then the next year, I got my sister. I said, "Hey, you can use my turntable." I got my sister, and I did this kind of to mess with my mom. We had a great record store, still open, Vinyl Solution in San
Yeah.
Oh,
San
yeah.
Mateo.
25th Avenue
Yeah.
in San Mateo.
Shout out Tommy Toons, great guy. Runs
Great shop.
Runs the shop, great store. But I got Madonna's "Like a Virgin" on vinyl and gave it to my
your
sister.
mom must have
And she
freaked.
freaked.
Oh, my God.
It was the best. It was hilarious.
That's funny.
And I actually included my dad in it too. I kind of said, "Hey, Dad, we got this going."
Oh, that's a good one.
So play along. And
That's a
then
good one.
He played along for a couple minutes, but then this.
Growing up in the Bible Belt, all the music scared my mom. Specifically, when I started listening to STP, Dead and Bloated, whenever she heard that coming out of my room, she was like, "I've lost her. That's it. She's gone."
I had a Diary of a Madman Ozzy T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And it has like the upside down cross
Yeah,
and
oh,
everything,
yeah.
and my mom, Italian Catholic family.
Oh, yeah.
She was spooked. Like, what happened? And I also had Ozzy's "Speak of the Devil," where the
How
cover,
old were you at the time?
12. I think Ozzy's "Speak of the Devil" might have been 12.
Yeah.
But he had the cover where he's got the chewed up, supposed to be like a bat
Yeah.
on his tongue. Remember the whole story about
Oh,
biting
yeah.
the head off the bat? And so my mom just thought she had lost me for life.
See?
She was like, he's gone. He's listening to devil music.
Devil music. That's how my mom felt,
I
too.
was gonna say Christmas was the time my parents got me my first CD player. So music and that
Yeah.
first CD, it was the MTV Unplugged. That was my first CD.
Nice.
But then after that, Green Day, Insomniac came out October. So my parents got it for Christmas for me. And then Nimrod, a couple years later, came out in October. So Green Day for a while was releasing all their albums in October, and my parents would just get that for me as a Christmas gift come December.
Nice.
That's why you're ingrained to this day.
Absolutely. But Sony Walkman, that CD player was my first CD player. And then that MTV Unplugged, that was like my first CD. And it was just like, that's how I got introduced to all these songs, but the acoustic version.
Oh, yeah.
And it was always a trip. So yeah, Paul McCartney, Lenny Kravitz, all that stuff. Was
I
on
literally
there.
just said on the air a few minutes ago before we started this that the gift of rock and roll is the best gift
Yeah.
because I was recommending Hackney Diamonds, like
Yeah.
getting
Ooh,
that on.
that album is
so good.
Yeah.
That
It's
album is
so good.
so good.
I know. I'm giving it to like 3 different people.
Nice. It sounds like right out of Exile on Main Street. Like
I
it's
know.
just so good, and mixed vocals are so good.
And the
first two
writing is really
tracks
great.
Out of the gates, that I think it's called "Get Angry."
Oh, yeah.
and "Get Over It." Like those first
Yeah.
two tracks are so good.
Yep.
And then they do the blues number at the end. I was like, man,
I know. It is so good. I'm so excited. So, yeah, any kind of music, but that's
Yep.
album form or concert ticket form, I would say, is going to be
Okay.
a win. That's like the best gift.
Paul, do you remember the first album you bought ever? Or first album you were given? Or
I got an album for my birthday. I think I was 9.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah, I think it was 1967. You'd have to check the year.
Okay.
And it was, I think my sisters gave it to me for my 9th birthday.
Awesome.
And it was The Lovin' Spoonful.
Oh my God.
Check out Lovin' Spoonful, like 1967.
Oh, that's
Where you
so
talk to
good.
ones that raise eyebrows.
Yeah.
I mean, in my era, it was the Tubes and White Punks on Dope.
Oh, yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And, there wasn't any T-shirts or anything like that, but I loved that album as a kid. So I went down to the mall and I had a T-shirt made that said WPOD on it.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
On the front. I'm a 14-year-old T-shirt designer. They were just like iron on like the fuzzy letters,
That is
I miss
And
those days.
WPOD, and then on the back, just in case you didn't get WPOD, it said "White Punks on Dope."
That's amazing. It was 1966 was the year that Summer in the City came out.
Yeah,
It was July of that
Must have been
year.
1966. then.
Yeah. So my first album was Aerosmith. I couldn't remember if it was Pump or Permanent Vacation, but from the discography, it was Permanent Vacation because I got them really close to each other within a couple of years.
By the way, are they the residency in Vegas is over? Or are they going to restart that? Or
Well, they're waiting on Steven Tyler's vocal situation,
okay.
whatever that is.
I mean, the fact that he can even still attempt to hit the
Oh,
notes
I know.
that he used to hit. I mean,
Well,
it's like
before whatever happened.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because there's a lot of questions around it.
Right,
But yeah, he
right.
was hitting him
Oh.
really well.
incredible.
So hopefully that comes
Seeing
back around.
Aerosmith, Paulie Mack, former host here.
Yeah,
He took me to my first Aerosmith show.
I would expect
And I was
that.
because I just knew them from the hits, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you need to dive deeper.
Oh yeah, he and I bonded over
Yes.
our love of Aerosmith.
Yeah.
We had birthdays like a day apart, and our favorite band is both Aerosmith,
Nice.
so we would geek out about that. We love you, Polly.
Yeah,
we love
yeah,
you.
heck
All right,
yeah.
I gotta go do a live call with
Okay.
Steve Moskowitz, everybody. So,
Oh.
yes, this was partially sponsored by Steve Moskowitz. No, it wasn't. I'm kidding. All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
oh
for
my
being
gosh.
here.
Way to
Thanks
go,
for
Tom.
having me.
Welcome,
That was a
Affinity.
blast.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome here anytime.
Absolutely.
Make sure you subscribe, do all the things, follow 1077 The Bone on YouTube. And if you listen to this, you should go back and see this chat. We like to promote our YouTube because it's fun. We make
Absolutely.
funny faces.
Danny was doing some fun.
He was.
Yeah, that was good.
He was doing this action. All right, you guys have a wonderful Christmas. You won't hear from us again
Merry
until the
Christmas.
new year. So we love you. You can play catch up. And we'll talk to you in 2024. Crazy. Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Beautiful.
Bye.